Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing another Thoughts Out cross country where I run you through what I was thinking out on a cross country course. So this is Burnham Market BE100, and as you saw, I always say thank you to the volunteers helping at the start because they are giving up their day to help us, and I always think it's nice to be polite. So the first two fences I kick on and just make sure Prince gets into his rhythm because sometimes he can be a little bit spooky, but this day he was actually really good, and by fence number 3 he was already in a really nice rhythm. Fence 4 was this table sort of fence off of a corner, so I just make sure I had a nice line to it and he popped it really nicely. Look at his adorable little face. Over fence number 5 we go, this little treasure chest going downhill. And next we come to the first combination on course, a double of logs, which I get the most horrendous stride to at the first one, and Prince manages to clamber over and still make it clear over the second part. After being an absolute little legend there, he then jumps this Stracana really nicely, and we are on our way up the hill to the second combination on course. This was a tiny step up to a brush skinny. I was a bit worried here he wasn't going to get the correct amount of strides, but he actually got it spot on and jumped it really well. I'll leave you to listen to the commentator over this next fence.
Well, let's get a Prince and Gracie tight at the triple rail.
As you saw, Prince did a really cute little jump over that one, and now we are on to the water. Prince went into the water, of course, first time. He's not spooky at all and just popped out over the second element. I actually checked him here a bit because we were a little bit ahead of time, so I just wanted to make sure we weren't going to get 2 speedy time penalties. This fence was huge. It was almost like a sofa, and honestly I was so worried about it because it's coming downhill and I just didn't want to get the wrong stride, but we got it spot on and Prince absolutely flew it, so I was so happy here. Next we have this log coming out of the woods. You'll see here how cute he is. It just shows how happy he is and how much he loves this job. I jumped this next fence in between these 2 hedges on an angle, which meant we could get a better line to the skinny on the way out. Prince got a really lovely straight line to it and jumped it really nicely, and we were on to the next fence. At this point I think it's rather clear Prince is having far too much fun and decides to take a good look at the basket, not as we approach the fence but as we go over it. Well done, Princey. I actually almost missed my turn to this fence, hence why we got a weird angle, but Princey again got me out of trouble. The positioning of this fence meant you had to do a really sharp right-hand turn after to get a good line to the corner, but luckily we did get a really nice line and jump the corner well. However, I can see here that I fiddled too much, it meant he stuck his head up in the air, so I'll try and stop that in the future. By this point we're only a few fences away, and as you can see we're going at a nice steady pace, nicely on track for our minute markers. I jumped this fence on an angle to minimise any time loss, just to make sure we stayed as close to the optimum time as possible. And then we are at the final fence. As you can see, he is completely still full of running. Can't say the same for me, but he looks happy still as always. He popped this really nicely and we were through the finish flags. I just gave my watch a final check there, and if I remember correctly, I think we were almost exactly on the optimum time, so I was really happy with that, and I gave him a big pat as we went through the finishing flags. Finally, thank you to Uneventful Live for making this video possible by recording all these clips. So useful to look back on my rounds and see where I can improve, and also watch Prince's face. Make sure you click the link in the description to see if they've been at any of your events.